Hi, today we're going to make a really nice, very simple vegetarian dish, but you know, we wouldn't even know it's a vegetarian dish, it's just yum. So for the ingredients, we only have a few. We've some puff pastry, we've got some lovely ripe cherry tomatoes, and we have some pesto, which we all have at the back of the fridge or stuck to the press. We have some salt and pepper and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Okay, now I have some puff pastry that I have here. Now I'm only going to use half of this, just for the purpose of today. So I'm just going to literally just cut it down the middle. And I'm going to keep that in the fridge. That'll last it well in the fridge for a good few days, 3 to 4 days at least. So I'll pop that aside. Now, this is puff pastry, and puff pastry, as we know, puffs up in the oven. And it goes nice and light and fluffy. So for the purpose of this tart, I want to line the outside of the pastry. So I'm just going to score. I'm not cutting it, I'm just scoring it gently, a couple of centimetres just in from the pastry, from the edge of it. Okay, so I'm just scoring it. Now the reason I am doing this is because it gives a little edge to the tartlet, so that with the ingredients in the centre, the edge will puff up, giving a nice border. So it's just a little chefy touch. We're not cutting through it again, we're just making a little border. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to use pesto. Pesto is lovely and flavoursome, and I think everybody has a jar of this in their fridge. So I'm just going to, basically using my spoon, maybe 2-3 teaspoons of pesto, and I'm just popping it onto the pastry directly. I'm not flooding it with a lot of pesto because I don't want to weight it down, but I'm just spreading it, and I don't want it too concentrated. So I'm trying to keep it within the border, just roughly within the border. I'm not going to be too particular about it. Again, cookery is about fun. You know, it's all about using whatever ingredients you like. If you don't like pesto, don't use pesto. Okay? Now, next thing, I have some lovely cherry tomatoes, and I've chopped them so that their fun size is up. Okay? So here are my tomatoes, and I'm literally just going to place them, fun size up, just in a nice little pattern all the way along on my pastry. Again, I'm allowing the border here. So again, just taking my time, popping them on, making them look nice and pretty. And cherry tomatoes are in season all year round now, so they're very accessible and they're very handy. They tend to last a good while in the fridge, so this is a very useful dish to make with them. So again, this is the time-consuming bit, but it's worth it. I need to cut another 1 or 2. So again, just fitting them onto the pastry. Again, just popping them along, making them look nice and even. They're going to move slightly when we cook them, because as the pastry puffs up, the cherry tomatoes will start to cook and they kind of dance around a little bit. So there we go. So that's just our pastry, our pesto, and our cherry tomatoes. Next up is, I'm just going to season it with some pepper, plenty of pepper, and just a touch of salt. I'm only using a little bit of salt because I'm using some Parmesan cheese, and it tends to be a little bit of salt and Parmesan, so I have shaved Parmesan here, so all I'm doing is I'm crumbling it in my hands, and I'm putting a little bit on the top. Not a whole pile, just a little bit. Now, okay, so the next thing now is we're going to transfer this onto our tray. I have a tray that I have just a little bit of baking paper onto it. This serves twofold. One, it stops the pastry sticking to the tray, and second of all, it saves us washing the tray, which is very important. So now I'm just going to transfer this onto my tray. Bit of a risky business, but anyway, we can just readjust it when it's back onto the tray. And again, the smells are beautiful. I can smell pesto, I can smell lovely fresh tomatoes. So Now, that's a very simple dish. This needs to go into a preheated oven, which I'm going to turn on now. So it's going in at about 200 degrees, and it's going to take approximately about 20 minutes. Now this smells delicious. We're just going to transfer it gently over to our board. I can smell pesto, I can smell tomatoes. It's beautiful, lovely scent of parmesan. And just very easily, just going to tumble a few tomatoes onto the corner and a little sprig of basil. And there you go, a beautiful tomato and pesto tartlet with shavings of parmesan.